So when we started planting our apple trees and pear trees and other fruit trees a few years ago, we thought we'd be getting fruit within a few years. Apparently that's not the case. We wanted to plant some fruit trees all over the property, create a big food forest or a couple little food forests type of thing, and we figured we'd be self-sufficient on fruit. Well, apparently it takes quite a while to actually make that happen. I believe we started around 2018, 2019, and we were ordering bare-rooted trees online. We did multiple purchases in spring as well as fall to be able to start growing what we wanted to be as our food forest. Some of the trees we purchased in those orders were choke cherries, and they're here behind me, and they're not doing too bad. This one looks really good. However, a number of the other trees have had their issues. This is one of the original apple trees we ordered back in 2018, 2019. And as you can see, it's still pretty small. It hasn't grown up that much. There's multiple reasons for this. Poor soil is one. Another is this has had a lot of damage to it with wind, hail, snow loads. So it's really stunted the growth of this apple tree quite a bit. This tree here is a newer one. We got it last year to replace one that had died. However, what happened this year with a few of the trees is the entire top got frozen. Apparently it's not the correct zone, or our area got colder than it normally does, or prolonged coldness. So we have, I want to say, at least 8, maybe more trees where we've had to prune them extremely heavily because of the frost damage over the winter that killed the top. The bottom, as you can see, continues to grow, that part that was underneath the snow and insulated. This tree here beside us is one that we ordered as a stick, bare rooted, and it has done extremely well up until this point. This year now, the leaves have started to go black and it's begun to die back. We had to prune off 2 of the branches due to frost damage, and we think this one has some sort of disease based on what we've researched and talked to with other people. The leaves have begun to go black and die off, and we don't think it's a bug or a parasite or that sort of thing. So we're going to take this one out and replace it with something else. We're going to dig it right out from the roots and burn it. So this one behind me, we just picked up a couple weeks ago from the nursery and got it planted. It already had a few apples on it. However, again, talking with someone who was much more experienced than we were, we realized we should actually just take the apples off, because that will allow the tree to continue to develop its root system and grow more healthier, rather than trying to put that energy into growing apples. So it's another tree that we're not going to have fruit from this year. This one here behind me is one of our oldest fruit trees. It's one of the biggest we have. We only got it, I think, about a year or 2 ago, but it's done really well. One of the things we didn't realize at the time was about removing the apples to allow it to grow much more healthier. So it's been a slow process this year and last year. Last year, when it came out in flower, it got hit with a frost that killed all the flowers. The pollinators weren't out at the time, so nothing actually got pollinated. In reflection, that is a good thing, since it would be allowed to, again, spend more energy growing roots and growing the actual tree. This year it didn't produce that many buds. I think what it needs is more food. Again, we're on sandy soil. So I've gone around and composted all the trees a lot more this year, tried to get them a lot more nutrition down to the roots. So hopefully that's going to make a difference going forward in the future. So now when I look back at 2018, 2019, and looking forward into the future, there's a number of things that I could have done better, things I wish I had known, and things that I will change going forward in the future as well to help our food forest grow up faster, become more healthy, and actually start producing a better quality fruit for us, as well as actually producing fruit. Most of all, going forward, what I'm learning is patience. Growing trees is not a quick process. It's not instant gratification. It's a process that develops over years. Developing your food forest, developing trees, developing varieties, developing, finding out what actually works better on your property, which varieties, finding which zone you need those varieties in due to frost damage or snow load, finding out how you can cover and protect your trees through the winter from the snow load, finding out natural bug protection to help keep the aphids and other bugs off your trees as well. So there's so many things involved in getting a food forest going that I didn't realize back when I started it. I thought, you know, you could just plant a food forest, plant all these trees, plant all these shrubs, and nature will take care of itself. Well, no. Even such things as simple pruning make a big difference in how your trees develop going forward. So guys, as much as these last few years have been kind of I wouldn't say a disappointment, but almost like a wake-up call to myself and my patience, and thinking that I would have fruit within a couple years. I've come to the realization that, again, it's something that takes time. And I think taking that time to actually develop stuff and learn more has been a huge healthy process for myself as well. So guys, if you're gonna plant a food forest, plan for 8 years, 10 years down the road to see that bountiful harvest. Don't get discouraged 3 years, 4 years down the road when you have to prune and cut back, or you have damage or diseased trees. Take the time, do what's needed to be done, and continue to develop your food forest. It'll pay off in the long run. Talk to you soon, guys. Love you.